today's class. We're very happy to have with us His Grace Rupanuga Prabhu, who's making his way here. We can give a big round of applause to welcome him. As Prabhu set this down, we'd like to give a brief introduction about Rupanuga Prabhu. Many of you might have seen him. He's not a new face in our community. He's been serving our temple at Iskcon, Toronto since 1981. His services over the years include being part of the temple council, mentoring, guiding devotees. He's also one of the pujaris at the temple who serves our deities. And you'll also see him giving a lot of classes in our temple, other temples in the GTA, and also virtually from home. Professionally, Prabhu came to Canada in the year 1969 as a graduate from IIT, and he came to pursue a master's program on a scholarship. And since then, he's been in Canada. He also happens to come from a Vaishnava family, so he's a third generation devotee. He serves along with his wife, Mother Krishna Bhakti, and he has children here, great-grandson, grandkids, who are all part of his Krishna conscious practice. And like I said, he's given many seminars and discourses at our temple and across other temples in the GTA. He also guides a lot of gathered devotees. We are happy that he's going to be speaking today on the topic of compassion. So please join me in welcoming once again His Grace Rupanuga Prabhu. Sorry, just one quick announcement. If there are any vendors or any devotees who require special assistance, we do have some chairs at the back. Feel free to come by the front desk if you require any assistance. Thank you. Sorry, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Welcome to all of you to Sunday Foods program. And as Prabhu said, we'll be talking about compassion. Before we do that, I'll do one prayer, invocation prayer, and then we'll start. Namo Mushpadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Bhava Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All that's going on in the world, different types of miseries, wars, famine, fires, all sorts of things are going on, and we can sit in the comfort of our home and say, well, I'm okay. Or we can show some compassion for people who are suffering. So I said, before I start talking about this, I should find out exactly what is the definition of the word compassion. And what I found out was that it says in the dictionary, strong feelings of sympathy and sadness upon observing the suffering and pain of other people and having a wish to do something about it. So a strong feeling of sadness and sympathy for those who are suffering and desire or wish to do something about it. That is the definition of compassion. So, what happens is, we talk about feelings. Now, where do the feelings reside? In our heart. Which means we'll have feelings for other people's pain only if we have a soft heart. If a heart is hard, it's difficult to find compassion in it. As a matter of fact, there is a very wonderful story in our scripture by the name of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the story is about a hunter who would shoot animals with his arrows and leave them half dead. So one very prominent sage by the name of Narada Muni passed by and he saw these animals suffering in pain. He found out who had caused this and he spoke to the hunter. And he said, if you have to kill them, kill them. Why are you half killing them and making them suffer so much? And you know what his answer was? I enjoy watching them suffer. That's a very hard heart. But I'm sure we all know people who are very hard-hearted and who love to give difficulty, problems to other people. There is a boss who's unreasonable, there is somebody else, a neighbor who's unreasonable, or whatever. I saw a little kid once, 5-year-old kid, was running around the room and killing all the ants. That's very hard. Anyway, my point is that to have compassion, we have to have a soft heart. And one of the best ways of having a soft heart is to perform devotional service, bhakti. One of the 9 processes of bhakti is to chant the holy name of the Lord. We all have heard Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's our famous chant. And just from chanting that mantra or Maha Mantra as we call it, our heart is purified and therefore softened. So as a result, we find that most of the devotees of Krishna, they are very soft heart. And they become very concerned when they see somebody suffering and they want to do something about it. A term used for them is par dukhe sukhi. Par sukhe dukhi, which means, what am I saying? Par dukhe dukhi, which means they're sad to see somebody suffering. As opposed to people who are hard-hearted, that example I was giving about the hunter, is par dukhe sukhi. They take pleasure in seeing some other people suffer. Anyway, the point is, devotees having a soft heart, they're always finding compassion in their heart for people who are suffering and they want to do something about it. There's a very famous bhajan that Mahatma Gandhi used to sing, and I'm sure if you're from India, you probably have heard it. The definition of Vaishnava. Vaishnava janto tene kahiye peer parai jane re. Vaishnava, the devotee, is the one who understands the suffering and the pain of other people, who feels the pain of other people. So therefore, what we're talking about is that devotees are very compassionate by nature. And it is the reason it is easy for them to be compassionate is that they have a relationship with Krishna, Lord Krishna. Now you may say, well, what does that have to do with compassion? Well, what it has to do with is that Krishna is the most compassionate personality anywhere. Do you agree or you have doubts? Okay. Let me give an example of why, or rather, how we know he's so compassionate. Krishna is normally living in a place called Golok Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. He's like a king there. He's being served by millions of Lakshmis, millions of other people. Everybody's catering to him. He's very comfortable. Nobody's annoying him. Nobody's bothering him. There's no demons. Very comfortable life. He leaves that to come to the material world, which has been defined as a miserable place. Everybody's unhappy here for some reason or the other, or at some point in time. Some may have temporary happiness, but it goes away and it's replaced by some kind of misery. Happens to everybody, whether you're president of a company or a nation, or a famous actor or multi-billionaire, some kind of problems are there in your life. Because that's the nature of this world. So it comes down, leaving all the comfort here. Why? He sees us suffering with all sorts of things and says, I have to help to get them out and take them back with me. So that is his compassion, and that's the height of compassion. So therefore, when a devotee establishes a relationship, a heart-to-heart relationship with him, the compassion of Krishna is, as you use the modern terminology, downloaded into the heart of the devotee. So therefore, the devotee also develops that compassion. Is basically empowered by the compassion of Krishna and becomes compassionate himself. Now, the compassion of a devotee can be compared with a person's compassion for his or her brothers or sisters. Now, why do we feel compassion for our own brother and sister? It's because they have the same mother, same father. And our compassion for our brother or sister is directly proportional to our relationship with our mother or our father. If we don't like our parents, we probably will not like our brothers and sisters. If we love, totally dedicated to our parents, we probably love and dedicated to our brothers and sisters also. In other words, our relationship with our brothers and sisters is a reflection of our relationship with our parents. So similarly, knowing that we are all children of Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mameva Ansho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Smrata, which means every living entity, all of us, are part and parcel of him. And it makes it even more clear in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, text 17, where it says, Pita Hams Jagato Mata Dhata Pita. I am the father of everyone. I am the mother of everyone. I am the grandfather of everyone. I am the maintainer of everyone. That's the relationship we say we all have with him. So a devotee who understands that principle sees everyone, whether in a human body or a non-human body, as their brother and sister. And therefore it becomes easier for them to be compassionate or feel compassion for everyone in the world. So it's not limited to their close friends, not their relatives or brothers and sisters, everyone. No discrimination, no concern about whether I know them or not. They are in need of something, they are provided for. So that's the feeling part. The second part I said is the desire or wish to do something about it. That's the action part. So it is not enough if we sit in our family room, watch TV where some fire is going on in Alberta or Jasper, particularly these days, or in British Columbia or somewhere, there's tsunami or flood somewhere, and say, too bad, really, really bad. And that's what. That's not compassion. That's not compassion at all. It's when we want to do something about, maybe a donation or, maybe join the firefighters and go fight the fire or something. When we do some action, then that becomes part of compassion. So compassion typically will require some work, some austerity, maybe some sacrifice, some action is required to have the compassion. So that's one point. That compassion means some kind of an action. The second point I want to make is that compassion is at two levels. One is the material level, other is the spiritual level. Material level base is about this body, about something material. So if somebody is hungry and you give them some food, that's material level. Somebody is sick, you take them to the hospital, get them treated, and they get okay, that's material level. Somebody has no money and you give them some money, again, it's compassion, that's material. Right? The characteristic of that is that all of that is temporary. You give somebody food, tomorrow they'll be hungry again. You give them some money, tomorrow they'll need money again. If somebody is sick in the hospital, they get okay, then comes back again. Point is, material compassion necessarily means something that has a temporary result. It's not permanent. As a matter of fact, sometimes material compassion can be harmful to the person you're showing compassion for. I'll give you an example. You visit somebody's house and they have a small 4-year-old child who's crying like anything. He's saying, Mommy, I want milk. Mommy, I want milk. And Mommy will not give it. After a while you say, wait a minute, this very cruel mother, why is she not giving milk? The child is hungry and crying. So you get up and open the fridge, take some milk and give it to the child. Mother comes running, she says, no, he has upset stomach. Milk is harbored and now they have dysentery. So you just given him dysentery. So what kind of good compassion is that? So my point again is that material level compassion, you have to be careful about how and what and when you do it. So it can be problematic sometimes. The other level is the spiritual level. Has everybody seen Bhagavad Gita? Does everybody know what Bhagavad Gita is? Yes, no? Okay. So the way it starts is there's a person by the name of Arjuna. He finds himself in the middle of a battlefield where the opposing army is in front of him and he's leading his army. And he tells Krishna, his charioteer, let me see who's here. And he sees that the enemy contains or comprised of his uncles, his cousins, his teachers, his friends. And he says to himself, I have to kill them for this kingdom. He feels a lot of compassion for this. I don't want to kill them. He tells Krishna, I don't want to fight. I don't want to. Now, Krishna had a choice. He could have said to Arjuna, very nice boy, you feel so much compassion for their bodies, tell them, yeah, you go. Krishna did not do that. Krishna did not do that. What did he say? There's a verse, very famous verse in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Krutastvakashmalamitam vishme supastato anaryo jushto aswargo akritikaramana. What that means is that Krishna is saying, what nonsense has gotten into your head? It's literally saying. Actually, Prabhupada described it as, what kind of cow dung have you got in? Hindi what the Gobar. He's saying, what kind of cow dung have you got in your head? You're talking this nonsense. Talking like this will not get you place in the heavenly kingdom, will not give you fame. As a matter of fact, it will bring you infamy. People will laugh at you. People will not say, oh, Arjuna was very compassionate, that's why he did not fight. Because he was a coward, he ran away. And he said that you have to understand that there is something called religious war, something called irreligious war. And to fight for the side of the religion. That's one thing. The second thing is that you have to worry about I have to worry about your spirituality. Now your spirituality is that I am God, you should listen to my command. And my command to you is fight. Now, what is the difference? Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight. Arjuna is saying, I don't want to fight. Arjuna's compassion is at the body level. He does not want to kill the bodies. Krishna explains to him that you are a spirit soul. Everybody is a spirit soul. The soul cannot be killed. So why are you talking about killing? You're not going to be able to kill any souls. Soul is, unborn and eternal, can never die. Anyway, so on and so forth. He explains to Arjuna and he says, you have to fight because that is my instruction. These people are sinful people. They need to be punished. They need to be given a lesson. And Arjuna fights. Point being, Arjuna had that compassion at the material level. Krishna had compassion at the spiritual level. Obviously, you can see that the spiritual level compassion is about the soul. Material level compassion is about the body. Therefore, the compassion at the spiritual level is more complete and is at a higher level because the results are permanent. So, therefore, if we are going to show compassion to the people, let's show the real compassion, which is the compassion at the spiritual level, which is about the soul. Now, what does the soul want? Soul wants a connection with Krishna. That's its nature. It's naturally connected with Krishna. That's where we came from. So therefore, a soul benefits when we tell this soul about Krishna, it's a pastime or the qualities or form or whatever, we talk about Krishna. That's called Krishna Katha. So therefore, the best kind of compassion that we show to the people is tell them about Krishna. Now something very interesting happens when we do that. I was saying earlier, Krishna feels very compassionate about the souls in this material world who are suffering. Sometimes in a human body, sometimes in an animal body or bird body or whatever kind of body. We are all suffering. Krishna feels a lot of compassion. He wants to help us. He wants us to come back to Him. So we are at a place where there is no misery. So when He sees we are helping people come closer to Him by telling them about Him, by giving them a book about Him, by telling them stories about Him, by encouraging them, by inviting them to the temple, giving them prasadam. All those activities make them more Krishna conscious, less material conscious. And therefore they come closer to Krishna. Krishna is very happy about that. Let me explain that with an example. Suppose there is a son of a very, very, very rich man. And for whatever reason he goes cuckoo and he leaves home. He doesn't want to be with his father, his mother, doesn't want to have anything to do with his family or from his wealth. But he's wandering around in the streets. And there's nothing to eat, his clothes are not tattered, he's in really bad shape. And somebody sees him somewhere and recognizes him. Says, wait a minute, you're the son of so-and-so. Let me take you back to your father. Takes him by the hand, takes him to the father. How would the father react to that? Any thoughts on that? Happy, unhappy, ecstatic? Ecstatic. That is what Krishna feels. He feels ecstatic when any one of us goes to anybody, tells them what Krishna is saying. Take Krishna's name. Chant Krishna's name. Read about Krishna. Here's a book. Or come to the temple, then take him some prasadam. But then they start to lose their material consciousness and start to develop Krishna consciousness. And that makes Krishna very, very happy. Understanding time. Prabhu actually once said that having material compassion for somebody is like lamenting the loss of the clothes that a drowning man is wearing. You're sorry for the clothes, not for the man who's drowning. Material compassion is like that. Because you're helping the body, not the soul, not the real person behind the body. So therefore, let's not worry about the clothes of the person, let's worry about the person, which is the soul, and give them compassion. So give them Krishna, which is the real compassion. I just want to shout out two groups of people in this temple. One is called We Care or Vaishnavas Care. It's a group of people who will visit sick people in their homes, read Bhagavad Gita to them, take prasadam for them, visit them in the hospitals or the hospice, and help them any way they can, including discussing Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Katha, etc. with them. Very, very prominent group, very active group, and they are doing what we call real or compassion at the spiritual level. That's one group. The second group is the people is what's known as the Toronto Sankirtan team. They are the team of people who distribute books on the streets of Toronto. Actually, they go outside of Toronto also. They go house to house, apartment to apartment buildings, shopping malls. Everywhere they do Sankirtan, chanting Krishna's name, distributing books. Basically, just bringing people closer to Krishna. So I wanted to give shout out to these two people, and I want to mention also there's Bhadra Purnima coming in September. And it said that on that day, and I forget the date, I think September 14, I could be wrong about that. Anyone who gives gift of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, to anyone is guaranteed promotion to the spiritual world. Simply from that act of giving a gift of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I encourage you all to think about that. Talk to anybody at the book table here. This is Madan Gopinath Prabhu, and he is one of the leaders of the Protestant team. He can tell you all about this Srimad Bhagavatam and Gata Purnima. And I always after the lecture go to him, he'll at the book table and we speak to him about that. Okay, please. So that's what I mentioned. Sorry?
Continue.
Okay. Now, an interesting thing is, we said earlier that the compassion in the heart of devotee comes from Krishna. So in other words, Krishna is the origin of the compassion that's in the heart of a devotee. Basically, devotees being empowered by Krishna to have a devotion. But the interesting thing is that sometimes a devotee becomes more compassionate than Krishna himself. And I'll give you a couple of examples, 3 examples actually. One is Lord Shiva. You may have heard that at the time of churning of the ocean, a lot of poison came out. And somebody had to take it. Otherwise, all the universe would be destroyed. And Lord Shiva was volunteered to drink all that poison. So the Lord was there, but Lord Shiva showed more mercy than the Lord himself and drank all that poison. That's one example. Second example is about a devotee by the name of Vasudeva Datta. He was around at the time of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, as you know, Krishna himself, who appears in the age of Kali. He went to Lord Chaitanya and said, "My Lord, please give me a benediction." Lord Chaitanya said, "What do you want?" He said, "Please give me the sinful reaction of all the living entities in this world. And let me suffer in hell for them. And you take them back to God." Somebody is willing to rot in hell for millions of years to help somebody else who suffers. Third example is our Prabhu himself. Srila Prabhupada was residing in Vrindavan, very comfortable in the temple called Radha Damodar temple, in front of the Samadhi of Prabhu, and just doing his work, his chanting, associating, and people said, nobody should leave Vrindavan ever. But here was Prabhupada said, no. People in the world are suffering. I need to get out of the comfort of Vrindavan and go to a place I've never been before. America, a land of the natures, the people only eat meat, they drink, they have drugs, they're really, really in bad shape. I'll go there and tell them about Krishna so they can come to Krishna. That's compassion. Go to a place where you don't know anybody at the age of 69. You can't eat anything because everything has meat or onion garlic. And all sorts of other inconveniences too. But he came because he has compassion for the people. So I'll finish by saying that this compassion, once given to us by Krishna, needs to be cultivated. Now, I'm sure every one of you has a cell phone, right? Everybody has a cell phone? What is the one thing you do with it almost every day? You can do your WhatsApp texts, your apps, and Facebook and everything else. What is that one thing everybody does? Charge it, exactly right. Everybody has to charge it at least once a day, or at least once in 2 days. Charge. What does it mean? So it allows you to use it properly for what you want. Compassion is the same way. You have to cultivate compassion. Otherwise it dies. The best way to cultivate compassion is to perform sadhana, which is devotional service. Chanting, deity worship, reading God's books, eating prasadam. Those are the activities we should do, and devotee association. Stick around with the devotees because they'll encourage you and tell you about Krishna, and you can discuss about Krishna. That's the way we stay charged up. So basically, that becomes a way of us connecting our heart with Krishna. And when our hearts are connected with Krishna, we have this realization of who we are, who's Krishna, what is our relationship with Krishna, and who's everybody else in relationship with Krishna and us. In other words, it becomes like a light that's showing us everything that we need to know to be very compassionate in life. And when that light is full on by the process of devotional service, then we can take that light and reflect it upon others to show that compassion. That is my request to you today. As much as possible, chant the holy name of the Lord, read the books of Srila Prabhupada, honor prasadam, come to the temple, associate with the devotees. And then you'll be able to show that compassion that the world needs today. Thank you very much. sure. Sorry. If you have any questions, by all means.
We have time for just one question, so quick show of hands, okay? I see one there. I'm just going to pass the microphone to you.
Hello.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna. So you talked about spiritual compassion today. You talked about its importance and how you have to work towards providing compassion to someone's soul. You have to work towards giving them something for the soul, something that benefits them much more than what material compassion would. What my question essentially is, should we be working towards giving humans around us a mixture of material compassion and spiritual compassion? Or
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Should it be a mix of material and spiritual compassion, or should it be just spiritual compassion? Because we do have material needs, of course. Like if someone is suffering and hospital, you want to work with them to get them closer to Krishna and help them find a way out of it, but they also need painkillers and medicines.
Yes. Excellent question. Thank you. So I just repeat it. Basically, the question is, should we stick with spiritual compassion, or should we give material and spiritual compassion as and when necessary? The answer is absolutely that you can't say to a hungry person, go chant. Right? You can't do that. So if this person is hungry, you have to give them some kind of food. But you can mix it with spiritual compassion by saying, I'm not going to buy you a hamburger. Come with me, I'll give some prasadam. So you have given him food he needs, and you give him Krishna, and your prasadam is same as Krishna. And mercy of Krishna, the word prasadam means mercy of Krishna. So you're giving him the food to quench his hunger, and you give him Krishna in the form of Krishna. The combination is the ideal Krishna. So yes, and you can take just about any example. There are times when you can't just walk away from somebody's suffering, because that again, you are hard-hearted. So the devotee is not saying, oh no, I can't give you money because that's material compassion. No, they need money. Give them or help them come to the temple, okay, you can live in the temple or whatever. But point is, yes, mixture is required oftentimes. And if required, do that, please.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the question, and thanks to Rupanuga Prabhu. Can we give a big round of applause for leading us through an important topic of compassion? Thank you so much once again, Prabhu. And we have a lot of announcements for today about upcoming festivities and events. But before that, would like to call upon Madan Gopinath Prabhu, as Prabhu mentioned about the Bhadra Purnima campaign. It's an upcoming campaign, and Madan Gopinath Prabhu is part of the Sankirtan team, distributing books and facilitating this activity of helping distribute books of Prabhupada. So he is here to speak